Now, leading things off on April the 18th, health coach Maranda Elkin. She's here, and she's going to be holding an event with the tips on eating healthy on a budget. We're pleased to welcome her to the studio with all the details. Welcome. Now, we were talking before we got started, before the cameras opened up, and you were saying some interesting things on, you know a lot. I said, that's my partner right there.
Right.
So tell us about some of the things that is going to be taking place on Wednesday, April the 18th.
Right, thank you. Thanks, Bob, for having me on.
Oh,
I'm Maranda Elkin. I'm a certified health coach, and later this month we're having an amazing event called Healthy Eating on a Budget. So as you probably know, as everyone watching knows, New York is a very expensive city to live in, right? You see on Instagram these beautiful, perfectly portioned meals that everyone's planning, bringing to the office. Maybe you're sitting next to a coworker and she's bringing her lunch every single day and it looks perfect. And you're thinking, how could I possibly do this, right? You go into the grocery store and you're trying to fill your basket with all of these beautiful vegetables, and all of a sudden you ring everything up and it's $200.
Whoa.
It's tough, right? So you're getting to a place where, how do I eat healthy and how do I do it so it doesn't break the bank? So this is what this event's all about. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be talking about things like how can you eat healthy, and also make sure you have a budget that when you go to the grocery store, you're not paying any more than $50 a week.
I have a rough time doing it, but I have a friend that ever since we were younger, he knew how to save his money and knew how to get coupons for things, and he could take a $500 shopping cart and pay $80 when it's all said and done. I mean, a lot of people would be mad. Will you get this guy off the line?
Right.
But he can get it done like that. But what about organic foods? It's more expensive than the average food. It has a label on the orange or the pear or
right. Yes, there's labels. Yeah, there's labels. You see that in the grocery store, right?
Not genetically modified and stuff like that.
Right. And well, I think what's really interesting, what's happening is that a lot of the organic foods that we see in supermarkets, they also are potentially coming in contact with certain chemicals. And so what I like to say is, organic is really great, but local is still really good.
Local is
so if
great,
you can get local produce, if you can go to a farmer's market and you can shop around and smell the vegetables, if you're smelling the fruits and vegetables, sort of like you're in this perfume shop,
you can sound so good.
It's nice. Yeah, it's nice. You can, you go back to your basics. We as humans, we know when things smell ripe and they smell good to eat. So if you go to a farmer's market, you start smelling those vegetables and those fruits. Those are also the most, the least expensive foods. And something great about New York City, I like to rag on New York City. We have restaurant after restaurant, but we also have bodegas. And I think bodegas are a really great source of fresh produce. For example, I have one on my block, and I go in there, I have 2 bags of huge vegetables that I bring out, and they actually source from the Bronx. And, I'm paying $30 for 2 bags of heavy groceries that are really fresh and stay in the fridge.
Yeah, a lot of bodegas got a bad rap in the past. They just had potato chips and pretzels and all this stuff. Right. But they're really coming through, right? Big up to the bodegas.
Yeah,
give the bodegas a big round of applause. Yes.
I went to the bodega next door to me, and he said he's been there for 40 years, and they're known in the area for the fresh produce. And so a lot of bodegas don't have fresh fruit, but it's worth finding them. They're out there.
So how do we save?
Yeah.
So what do we look for? I mean, sometimes you're driving around all day and you won't eat until you find the thing that you want to eat.
Right. Well, I think there's a couple of
thing that you can afford.
Exactly. So I think the natural instinct for us is, when we're driving home, we see McDonald's on the way home, and we say, that's probably the cheapest thing, and my stomach is grumbling, so why not? Or we'll see a slice of pizza, or we'll get a pizza on the way home. We think this is the cheapest that we're eating, but those foods only last us for one meal. Right?
Yeah.
So the idea is that you want to create a plan for yourself where you're going to be creating, if you go to the grocery store and you're spending $50, you're basically going to be making all of your food for that entire week.
Yeah.
And so the idea around this meal planning and prepping, this is a part of the seminar that we're running here, is we're going to teach you how to do that step by step.
And you have the panel discussions and everything. All right, so what are we going to learn?
So you're going to learn specific strategies on how to prep your meals in advance, thinking about logistics. When do you grocery shop? When's the right time for you to fit that into your day? When do you actually cook those meals in advance? How do different components of your meals come together? So for example, if I cook a pot of quinoa, how can I use that for 2 different dishes instead of just using it for one?
Oh, yeah.
So making your ingredients work for you.
Let's get the leftovers involved in that.
Yeah, it's the leftovers.
Yeah.
And also the other key part of this is healthy snacks. So you mentioned, it's really common for us to get hungry during the day. So how can we think for future self, right? So what are the things that we can be picking up at the grocery store and storing in our bags throughout the day, so I'm not motivated to go into Chipotle, for example, and just grab that as a snack in the middle of the day. I know I have, let's say like an apple in my bag or a rice cake, peanut butter with some blueberries on it or something like that at work. So these are the kinds of money-saving tips that you can think about from a grocery perspective. And then we're also going to be talking about these money-saving tips for restaurants. So how can you start to think, because we're going to go to restaurants, it's going to happen. So how can we start to think when we go to restaurants how to save money there? And maybe we look at the sides menu. Maybe we ask for certain dishes to be prepared differently from what we see on the menu, which a lot of people don't know you can do.
Yeah,
so,
mix and match.
Yes,
make
there's
it,
a lot
make it work for you.
There's a lot of things that we can do.
Miranda, how important is water in your diet?
It is, we were talking about this, so I would say it's the number one thing that people need to watch, and myself included. I was working in the corporate world for many years, and in the beginning of my journey, I was traveling 3 or 4 days a week to different cities, and that dry air on the plane really gets to you.
Oh, yeah.
But if you're just going to an office every day, it's something that you really need to be mindful of. So I would recommend 6 to 8 glasses of water at a minimum, and then slowly work up from there.
Do you drink 6 to 8 glasses of water a day? Do you?
Yeah, it's tough. My recommendations for this, by the way, is you want to be able to drink a glass of water within 20 minutes of waking up.
Yeah.
If you do that, it's amazing because you're already getting your system flushing, right?
Yeah.
And then
don't worry if you have to go to the bathroom. People say, I can't drink that right now because I have something to do and I don't want to have to run to the bathroom. Go to the bathroom.
Right, but it's
Make
also
it
better than at night, because if you're getting your water intake in the middle of the day, that's really, for a lot of my clients, that's really what they want to be doing, because the last thing you want to do is disrupt your sleep, with having to go up to the bathroom at night. So you want to get all of your water in earlier in the day. It's recommended.
So how do we get you as a coach?
Well, I'm actually hosting a 30-day Get Sexy for Summer Jumpstart program.
All right.
It starts on May 1st, and so if you'd like to sign up to that, you can go to my website at www.wellbyme.com. And I also offer personal one-on-one health coaching services. So if you're interested in that, feel free to contact me as well. But I hope everyone who's interested in this event will come out. I'm really excited about it.
And the event is April the 18th on Wednesday.
Yes.
And it's going to be at?
The Financial Gym, which is located in Chelsea on 25th between 6th and 7th. And it's going to be from 6 to 8 p.m.
What's the significance of the Financial Gym?
The Financial Gym is actually a place where you can go work out your money.
There you go.
Amazing, yeah. So they have trainers on staff where you can go and talk to them, like if you're trying to save for money for a down payment on a house or save for your retirement. They'll look at all of your assets and help you come up with a financial plan. So they're real trainers.
Coach, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Give her a big round of applause, everybody. Coach Maranda Elkin. And you go to wellbyme.com?
Correct.
Fine by me. I mean, well by me.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. We have to take a quick break, but coming up next, we'll take a look at an event